Well, I haven't done one of these in a while, so let's see how horrible this ends up. But I'm going to do a quick, not so quick little how-to on more of an explanation on the Donohi, which I have one on eBay right now. But I'll explain how this is made and actually where you can get some of the material for it. I made a quick list. There's going to be stuff on here that I probably forgot, but you'll hear me mention it. Hardest thing is the 2-inch or 50mm copper pipe. I use type L. I find that to work out the best for me. 6 or 7 inches long, 150 or 175 millimeters if you're going metric. 2 caps, a Sharpie. I like to use the ultra fine point. Just some paper, tape measure, blocks or similar, which I'll go over that when I explain the laying the lines out. Drill, I use a 3/16 and a 1/4 inch, or 4mm and 6mm. A Dremel if you're going to be doing the slots. Some sandpaper, 120 and 220 grit's fine, or one of those sanding blocks you use for drywall. File, hacksaw, which I'll explain what that's for. A 6-inch or 150mm long piece of round bar, 3/8 or 10mm in diameter. That's going to be for the bar that you put in the center of the Donohi that all the char cloth wraps around. Compass, protractor, calculator, stuff like that. So I get my material from a local company, and I'll actually leave their website because they actually sell the 2-inch copper pipe by the foot, and they will ship. I buy this and my caps from them. So the first thing you're going to need to do is get your piece cut to 6 or 7 inches, however long you want. This is going to be a 6-inch piece. It doesn't need to be exact. I try and make everything I do exact because of my background in machining. I feel like I need to, but you really don't. So one of the things you're going to have to do is, there's 8 areas that get either holes or slits cut in there. So you need to divide this up into 8. You can either do it not the hard way, but if you don't have a pair of calipers, trying to measure out an exact distance is not that easy. So what I do is I just take a piece of paper, I wrap it around until it meets end to end, then I mark it and cut it. So then I have a piece of paper that's the exact outer diameter of this. Fold that in half, make a crease, unfold it, and then mark a line. Now if you take that half, fold that in half again, now you have 2 other creases that you can mark, and then I took this end. You can do it all the way around. I just only did it to 2 areas. Fold it right there, make a mark, and then this one, you gotta fold this in half. So pretty much you're just constantly folding it in half, and then wherever there's a crease you're gonna make a mark. So now when you wrap this all the way around, like so, you're going to have equal spacings all the way around, real simple. Just don't forget that where the 2 pieces of paper meet, that's a mark as well. So I'll take my Sharpie and I'll put a mark there, Lighting's not too good in my basement for this. And mark there. So you'll make the marks all the way around. So now you're going to need to transfer that line or that mark that needs to go all the way up and down. The way that I do it, I have the luxury of having these machinist 1, 2, 3 blocks, which I just set up, roll this down until it meets the line, and then draw across it. And then you get a nice straight line all the way down. Now if you don't have 1, 2, 3 blocks, you can use just about anything. I've even used books. It doesn't have to be a certain, as long as it's 1 inch or less, you'll be okay. But anything's good. Like, where's a book I got? Here's a World War Z book. You can do the same thing. Line it up with with the line, and you'll get a nice line straight across. So you're going to do that all the way around. So you have your 8 lines. And then what you're going to want to do is find your halfway mark. So this is a 6-inch piece of pipe. Actually, this one's just shy of 6. It's like 5 7/8. So mark the halfway mark. And what I do is I go, was it 40 millimeters? Yeah, 40 millimeter long slots, or for English, 1.5 inches. So I'll put it at the 3/4 mark, start, finish. So that's going to be one of the areas that's going to have a slot. Every other one is what you're going to do. For this next one, what I do is I'll carry these marks over from the other side, and I'll just measure 1.5 inches up from that. There. There. So now that slot will stop there. On the next one over where there's 2 of them, it'll start there and only go 1.5 inches up. So it'll start at the starting point right there, and then that'll be dremeled out. So you'll do that all the way around, sand it, clean it up. If you don't have a Dremel, you can mark it out the same, and you're going to mark every 3/8 of an inch. At least I think that's what it was. Or was it every 1/4 inch? And I think it was every 3/8. Mark every 3/8 of an inch. Which that one got all messed up because I started off with 1/4. 3/8, 3/8. So every 3/8 of an inch, and then you'll just drill a hole on each one of those spots instead of a slot. If you do 3/8 and you drill the 3/16 hole, and do that all the way around, nice and easy. And then just make sure it's deburred and cleaned up with a file or sandpaper. Getting inside's kind of tough, but if you have a Dremel, that'll help out. Dremeling it, I use the thicker wheels on there because the thin wheels are too thin. So for these holes, I used, a 3/16 drill bit or a 4mm drill bit. So you'll do that all the way around the pipe, and you'll have your main pipe done. If you're putting it in a vise and see, I got a small vise right here. A little trick to, if you're ever trying to line something up, in a drill press vise, and make sure that it's straight up and down. So to try and get this to be straight up and down, I know the OD of this is 2 1/8, so half of that is 1 1/16. So if I were to grab, let's say, this ruler, so from the outside of this ruler to that black line, I need that to be 1 1/16. So focus. It's not going to focus. But if you measure from the one side in halfway, that'll make sure it's straight up and down for you. So a pretty quick, easy way of doing it if you don't have a Bridgeport or fancy milling products and machines. So that would be the tube. That's pretty simple. I mean, it takes some time drilling all the holes and laying it all out, but another tool, if you don't have it, is a center punch to mark all your holes. If not, just using a nail and giving it a tap with the hammer so your drill has some place to start. That's always a good thing to do when drilling holes, which you're going to probably want to do that on the next step, which that would be the caps. Now these caps I cut down on a lathe because they used to be about that long, so I cut that much off because they don't need to be that long. They're just caps. They don't need to go down an inch. So what you're going to do with this is take the brand new cap. So we'll say this is the brand new cap, and find something that's 3/4 of an inch or 1 inch in thickness, and do the same method, but hold your marker and just take your cap and just spin it. And then this is going to be the only part that's probably going to be a pain, is now you got a line all the way around. You're going to want to cut the excess off with a hacksaw. That's if you want shorter caps. I prefer the shorter caps. I think they look better. It gives more area in here, so you're not covering up so much. Now you're only covering up that instead of that. And of course, file them down, hit them with sandpaper. One you're going to leave just plain, like that. The other one you're going to want to put all your holes in. Now this trick with using these blocks to find center and to mark lines, like how we marked this line by using a book or marking this, this trick I use all the time at my job because it just makes everything so simple. I don't have to think. So I know this is about 2 inches. So if I want to find the center of it, I just need to take this 1 inch block and I'll make a mark here, turn a little bit, there, there. That sticker's in the way. Let me grab the other one. And by doing this, you're going to be getting rid of all the variances. So now if you want a tighter tolerance, you want that to be closer, just grab something thicker, or I can grab this piece of, I can grab this ruler and just keep going around and doing the same thing. And that actually gave me a much better center. So I would take a nail and just give that a little punch to put a hole in there, and that's where you drill your 1/4 inch or 6mm hole. Let's see if I can get rid of some of this. Oh, there we go. Some of that extra light. So now that we're going to have a center hole there, before you drill that, just punch it. That's when your compass is going to come in handy. Because this is what you're going to take. You're going to put the pointed side in, and that's how you're going to get your center to drill your other holes, your 6 holes on the outside. Me personally on this, I think I do like 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch, or I think that's what, 18mm. And I'll mark a line all the way around. And then from there, you have to just divide this into 6 areas. You can just look at it and just kind of guess. They don't need to be exact. If you want to get crazy with it and use a protractor and another small scale and mark all your angles, that's fine too. And then you're going to drill those holes. Oh, these Sharpies sometimes just don't want to work. On the outside like that. And then of course deburr everything and make sure there's no sharp edges. It doesn't take too long if you're doing the hole drilling method on this. You can get it done pretty quick. The slots, me personally, I cut them with the Dremel and then I put them on a Bridgeport and I precision machine the slots in there with a end mill to make sure that everything's straight and nice and clean. But that's not necessary. That's just my attention to detail that I have. So that's pretty much it for the Donohi. It's pretty fun to make. The copper tube's fun to work with because it's soft and it's easy to work with. And I'll leave a link in the description of the website that I use. It's warrenpipe.com, but I'll leave a link for you. So hopefully anyone that wants to make one of these, this kind of helps you out. If you have any questions, find me on Facebook. I'm not on YouTube a whole lot anymore, actually rarely. So find me on Facebook, or I'll put a link in the description for my email. Just email me with any questions. I got no problem helping out. Love helping out. Trying to get everyone else out there into making their own stuff. So it's very rewarding. So I hope you guys liked this. And maybe if I'm not busy like I have been, I'll try and do some more how-to videos if someone wants to know how to make something. So thanks a lot, guys.